Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Slimy. Today we're going through the first steps if you're brand new to Steam Deck. First thing you want to do when you get into your main menu here is go into system settings and start having a fiddle. You can see here, you can do whatever you want with this. I do things like battery percentage. I go ahead and make sure I'm up to date on software. It usually does this update when you first start your Steam Deck, so you shouldn't need to do any of that. And then you can go through and change some settings. There's things like enabling dev mode, but we're not going to worry about that here. You can change your notifications. Some people don't like them. You can turn them off entirely, or just have certain things that pop up. Display, I turned off enable adaptive brightness. That's just a personal preference. Sometimes I have it on if I'm playing in the bedroom, but it just depends. As you can see there, the brightness varies very much depending on if you've got it on adaptive or not. Apart from that, a lot of the stuff you don't need to change. A lot of it is pretty much set up as it should be when you're using your device. But just go through, have a nosy and see what you want to do. Turn on your Bluetooth. I turn mine on because I have my AirPods that I want to sync up to it. You may not want that, but again, that may be something you want. You have things like using the Nintendo button layout. Again, I don't use that, but it is there for you if you want it. I go ahead and change my keyboard as this is the default, but I'm a big fan of the night shift keyboard. I like the neon look of it, so that's what I go and put on. And I go and I want to change my start menu or my start screen. I don't see this a hell of a lot, but you might as well. I have it unlocked. I've paid the Steam points for it, so I might as well change my startup movie. You can go ahead and download or buy them if you've got some points available to you. But this one is good. I had Ghost Machine as well, as you can see, but I find that is just a little bit too long in terms of playtime, where this is just a little bit shorter, but it looks pretty cool as well. So once we've gone through our options menu here, we're going to head over to the desktop to get a first view of our programs that will set us up for long-term use on our Steam Deck. Some of those will include Decky, and along with Decky is third-party installs of like third-party launchers like Epic and Blizzard. So we're going to get all that sorted, along with installing a browser and Proton Tricks, which again you won't need right now, but having them installed just means in the future it's something you don't need to worry about. Your Steam Deck's basically ready to go. The only thing that I normally install along with all this with my Steam Deck would be EmuDeck, but that will be its own thing because EmuDeck is a beast. So all you do is you push the Steam button, head down to power and jump over to desktop mode. First thing is going down to our Discover store here and getting ourselves a browser by going to internet and then over to browsers. Firefox is the default one for Steam Deck. You can go ahead and use that if you like, or there is a ton of different browsers in here like Brave, Google, Edge, whatever you want. I use Google Chrome. Everyone gets grumpy at me for that. I'm not sure why. It's a browser. I don't really care. You know. But anyway, we'll go ahead, download that, get that installed, and then we're going to jump online and we're going to search up Decky. And then we're going to go ahead and download Decky. Going to click on the old homebrew, push download here up here. That'll do its thing. We can go over to our downloads folder by pushing the little browse folder icon and going to downloads. Now this needs to be cut and pasted onto our desktop here. As you can see, I'm blind and need eyesight replacement because I'm mentally challenged. There we go, I found it. And then we're going to go ahead and just go continue. It's going to do its install. This doesn't take very long at all. Just push yes. And we are done. I just go to the initial latest release, keep it easy, keep it simple. Depending on your internet, this may take a few minutes or not very long at all. And then this is one program we've now got installed on our desktop, which is always really nice to have. And once this is done, we can move on to our next step. which will be going back online and getting some more stuff. So we're going to rename this. I just leave it as Decky. Now I leave this installed to do Decky updates when they release. You can just do it from the desktop mode and double click on that and update Decky. Right, let's start our next project. So we're going to go ahead and get ourselves the non-Steam launchers. Again, just Google non-Steam launchers and it should be the first GitHub result. And then just scroll down here and click on the latest version. This one was from 2 weeks ago. Yours may be different. And then you want to get the plugin version, not the desktop version. So scroll down and download the plugin desktop. Again, we can go and click on that. That's going to take us here, and we can cut and paste this to our desktop. Once this is pasted to our desktop here, I go ahead and load it. Now this is when a slight problem arises, as you need to have a password set up for your Steam Deck to proceed. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to create the password. We're going to head down to our icon here, or start menu, and we're going to look for console. That starts with K. From here, we're going to open our keyboard by holding the Steam button and pushing X. And then we're going to write in pass WD, and it's going to ask for new password. Go ahead and type that in. It's not going to look like anything's happening, but it is typing. It got me a few times when I first did it, but it is working. And then you just pull right trigger to enter, and it will make you do it twice. My recommendation is to make sure it's just a standard password that you're going to remember, because if later down the line you say you want to use something like Cryo Utilities, you will need that password again. Or if you reinstall Decky, it will need the password. So keep that in mind. So we've now set our password. We're going to be able to log into our Decky plugin. Once you've got your password entered in, I'm just hiding this for safety. I probably don't need to, but you know what? I don't know the internet that well. I'm not risking it. Anyway, with that password now put in, we can go OK. And it should go ahead and start installing. As you can see here, it's going to say there's an error and things like that, but it is working as intended, and let it do its thing, and it will pop up with a message when it is done, and it will boot you back to game mode. But go ahead and jump back into desktop once it has installed, as we're going to add nested desktop to Steam, which just means easy access to our desktop mode from within game mode without having to always go completely out, which is just a nice bonus to have. Like I say, I'm just getting all the desktop stuff out of the way now, and then we can spend a little bit of time in game mode sorting out all our bonus apps. So on top of that, we're going to go into our Discover store again and get some more things. So the first one I'm going to get is Proton Tricks. You should always have Proton Tricks. It's great for installing mods and specific drivers that you might need to get a game running if it isn't working off the bat. So always go ahead and get the little Proton Tricks add-on. Again, you're not going to use this right now. We're not going to do anything else with it. We're just going to download it and have it ready to go. The other one we're going to get is Kachangi for PS5. If you don't need PS5 streaming, you can go ahead and skip this. So I go ahead and download Kachangi for PS5 and PS4 streaming. Again, this is very particular to me because I have a PS5 in the lounge, but I play in the bedroom sometimes. So yeah, don't forget that if you need it, and then go ahead and once that's downloaded, add it to Steam also. And then with that, we are done with game mode, desktop mode, and we can go back to game mode. Going ahead and pushing the 3-dot button on our right hand side, you'll see down the bottom we got a little plug which will show us with our non-Steam launchers. You won't have Decky Recorder, but you'll have non-Steam launchers. And from here you can go ahead if you want now or later on to do your extra things like streaming and other game services. You can turn on auto scan. I turned it on. I don't know if it makes a big difference, but it's there. The other thing you want to do from within here is download the Proton GE, and then you have Proton GE ready to go as well for some games on Steam Deck that may not run off the gate. As you can see here, you get plenty to pick from. So go ahead and add these away to your Steam Deck, and it should scan and put pictures and do it all very nicely. So that is a big job done, and now you've got access to a ton of game launchers and streaming sites straight from your Steam Deck. So with that done, we can go ahead into the store, well, the download page on the Decky launcher, and go and get some really useful applications. Auto flat packs is an auto include for me. This just means you don't have to go desktop mode to do system updates for drivers and that and weird stuff. I don't know how often that stuff actually comes into play, but it's worth having your Steam Deck fully up to date. Some of these aren't needed anymore, but just go for a stroll through here and see what ones you want. I have done a video on Decky already, so I don't want to bore you with it. But yeah, there's some good stuff in here. I'm just going to go for the basics at the moment, but I do end up downloading quite a few, so you'll know what you want and what you don't need. A big one is the Decky Frame Gen. Make sure you download this, as this is going to be great for certain titles. I've used it once and it's worked properly for one game. So it is a bit hit or miss, but it definitely is worth having just to give you some more options in terms of graphics settings and video games. So one other main one I would recommend is Steam Grid DB, which just allows you to add artwork to games that you have manually added to your Steam Deck. And yeah, that's about all. I've added some other ones as well, but those are the main ones that I would recommend. I like things like play count, just to see how many people are playing. I think that's quite interesting, but not everyone needs to know that. We're going to go ahead into our non-Steam, where you can see where I've added nested desktop and my PS5 streaming. With the Proton badges added, or DB grid, I can go ahead and add pictures to all these where you normally wouldn't be able to. So that's why I really like that Decky Loader add-on. And once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and do my PS5 as well. And then after that, we're kind of really done. So and you can go ahead and play some actual video games. I know you've probably, when you get your Steam Deck, the first thing you want to do is play a video game, and I get that, but this is totally worth it. All right, guys, have a great day. See you later.